News Talk 820 WBAP.
Breaking news trumps everything. Fun. As you just heard, the Supreme Court has upheld institutionalized racism here in the state of Texas. The Supreme Court upholding affirmative action in the state of Texas. You know, this is just my opinion on this. I think if you want to stop racism, you got to stop being racist. And affirmative action is a racist program. It gives preferential treatment where it is not due. And I'm sorry. It doesn't consider merit. It doesn't consider anything else but somebody's skin color. And we're not supposed to pay attention to that. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. As you can tell, I have a pretty strong opinion of this. I'm just saying, if we want to stop racism, let's stop being racist, shall we? Stop affirmative action. But the High Court upheld it. Was it 5-3? Let me talk about this with Byron Henry. He's an appellate law expert with the law firm Scheef Stone, right here in Dallas. Hey, look, man, I gotta say thank you very much for being here on the fly and talking with us about this. I know you're probably just getting the information as we are. What was the breakdown? What was the vote on this thing?
Well, Chris, because Justice Scalia passed away in February and Justice Kagan was recused because this case has been so long up and down the system, it's already been to the Supreme Court once. There was only 7 justices on this case. So we already had a weird breakdown with 7 justices. But the decision was a 4-3 decision with Justice Kennedy siding with who you would think, what most people would think on most cases being the traditional liberals, and Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, and Chief Justice Roberts in the dissent. And basically the opinion said because the University of Texas uses race in such a small way, the way the silver lining of this case is in order to satisfy the strict scrutiny that the Supreme Court put on them the first time this case was up there when they reversed and sent it back. Basically, the University of Texas had to continue to downplay the use of race in their briefs and in the record, meaning we just use it as I think the court referred to it as a factor of a factor, meaning it plays a very small role in their decision-making process. I think the court finally said, listen, they're a university, we're going to defer to their judgment in a lot of cases, and we don't like the use of race. They can't use race outright, but using race as a very, very, very small factor in admissions process is not unconstitutional, meaning taking it into consideration along with a lot of other factors doesn't offend the Constitution, and that was basically what the majority held.
Right. So basically what they're saying is what Justice Kagan and Ginsburg and Kennedy ended up saying is that a little racism is okay.
Well, at the university level, because they are deferring, and they say this multiple times, that they are giving deference to admissions and universities on how they can best create the best campus and the best educational environment for their students. So they're giving universities, public universities, more deference than they would, or at least it seems, in other areas. Now, it remains to be seen if this deference can be put into other areas, such as employment and other areas. But certainly in the the educational context, they are definitely, if it's a close call, they're giving the benefit of the doubt to the university that they will continue to use race only when absolutely necessary and only as a very small factor in their admissions process. And I think that's probably the way they won, by conceding that they're only going to use it as a small factor, minor. Does
this put this whole issue to bed, or is there another angle you could conceive as an appellate law expert here that somebody could attack and rid us of affirmative action altogether?
Well, first of all, I think Justice Scalia not being on the court probably played into this. When this case was taken for the second time, there's a strong argument, and this is speculation, there's a strong argument that the court was prepared with 5 votes to basically do something nationally regarding affirmative action. But with only 4 justices on a shorthanded court, and in this unique, and the court repeated over and over that the University of Texas has a very unique system, the way it uses race as a minor factor in admission. So I don't think this rubber-stamped affirmative action or quota programs across the country. In fact, if anything, it told courts that the Supreme Court is going to look very skeptically at these programs, and there was even a warning to the University of Texas in the majority opinion that they need to keep assessing their program and determine whether or not this race as a minor factor is even necessary to achieve their goals. So it was not a complete win for the University of Texas, and certainly not a complete win for affirmative action across the country. So you basically have 4 justices saying it can only be a very, very minor factor, and 3 justices saying it can't be a factor at all. So I think affirmative action plans are not going to grow as a result of this. And in fact, some universities after this opinion may have to take a look at their plans and think, you know what, we need to minimize race in our admissions process. So that's kind of a silver lining, I think.
Part of the Legal Eagle team here at the Chris Salcedo Show, Byron Henry, everybody, appellate law expert with the law firm Scheef Stone right here in Dallas. Thank you for being Johnny on the spot and being with us, sir.
My pleasure.